Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Arr. Greetings, welcome. Hello, and welcome back to yet another episode. If you're new here, it's what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and diamond paint, which I know doesn't exactly sound entertaining to watch. Must be a bit like watching someone else play a computer game. But we're going to have general banter and chat and natter, put the world to rights, that kind of thing. Howdy, Sammy. Dog knows the button to roll the windows down. Oh dear. Doggo going to be jumping out when you're going down the road then. So, yeah. When the dog is in charge of the climate control in the car, that's going to be an interesting one for you. Yeah. Don't think Pippa's bright enough to figure that out. She's not what you'd call the brightest of dogs. Yeah, she's probably what I'd call one of the dumbest dogs I've ever met, but there we go. Oh dear. So yeah, been one of them weeks. This week. Yeah, not a lot going on this week, to be honest. Well, not this side of the pond anyway. There's what do they call it? National Help the Immigrants Day in the States. Thanksgiving, that's it. When the natives helped the immigrants. Funny how that lesson didn't stick, isn't it? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving anyway. Yeah, just a normal week in the UK. We don't do Thanksgiving, quite honestly, because it wasn't anything to do with us. Well, I mean, they were British people at the time, but they were the ones we didn't want. So yeah, got all Mary's birthday presents wrapped, ready for next weekend. The big 5-0. Work again, just chill, calm, nothing too mental going on. Coming up to our quiet time of the year. People tend not to be doing much in the way of DIY renovations and gardening work this time of year, so we tend not to sell too much. Plenty of gift cards for people who don't want to think about what to get their usually male partners or family members. Nothing says I love you and I thought about this gift more than a gift card for a hardware store. Here's some money to buy that. Here's some money as a present to buy that tool I need you to have so you can do this job for me. Basically is what it is. So yeah, as you might be able to see, working on a diamond painting of Le Floof Monster, Zaki Boy, who is, for the uninitiated, the most judgmental of cats ever. and currently Ghost Cat. Which, if you remember, you are known as a Zach friend. I still haven't got around to putting the second tier in. YouTube keeps on at me to put a second tier in, but don't quite see what I would gain from it. Highly doubt anyone would actually use it. Oh, hell, the people who are members now don't use the emojis I made to put in there. If that's still a thing at all, whether that's been deleted, maybe. Yeah, and there's also the hype thing, which apparently doesn't work on most devices. Only works on like phones. Because I've tried doing the swipey thing to make it work on videos, and it just goes to something else. It's just basically swipe to like instead of press the button. Maybe that's because a lot of people spend a lot more time swiping than actually pressing buttons these days. Who knows? Anyway, let's get to the diamond painting. Ooh. What else we got to talk about? Yes, the baby bristle noses in the bottom fry tank, which is the one that's usually saved for the ones that are getting there and are ready to be sold on. Yeah, they've started breeding, so we've got baby bristle noses in there now. It's a bit of a pain, but yes, I know. What do you mean it's a pain? Breeding fish is wonderful. Yes, it is. Until you've got bloody thousands of them. And you've got nowhere to put them. And you really don't want to be setting up more tanks. It's already a large part of your weekly chores list to do all the water changes and filter cleans every week. Which you have to do when you've got that many bristle noses in the tank. You can't really skip a week because it will soon turn into a toxic miasma. And the filters will stop working because they will plug solid. Taco poop. So if you've seen the short I did however many years ago, showing how much poop turns up. G'day, Delhi. How are you, darling? Hope all is well down under. And by that I mean in Australia, not you're down under. Even I'm not so crass as to ask about that. Actually, I probably would be, but just, not in a live setting, shall we say. Awake, retail work sucks this time of year. Yeah, it can do if you're in the wrong shop or store, whichever you call them. It kind of sucks for us as well where I work, because this is the time of year where it's going to start dying a death. Literally, our quiet time is the Christmas period and just after. Which is why there's no issues with me booking Christmas week off for holiday. Yeah. Hardware, I'd assume it'd be similar at Bono's. Although, given the climate in Australia, but it's more Because generally the weather is sucking bad. There's not an awful lot of daylight, so you can't really do much outdoors, especially if you've got to work. And with the current financial climate in the world, people can't really afford to do all sorts of things at the same time as Christmas. Because people still insist on spending ridiculous amounts of money. And let's be honest, when you boil it down, it's just a group birthday. Yeah, well, I think we generally know my opinions on Christmas, Xmas. So, well, if you don't like it, Sharpe, why do you take that week off? Right, so I don't have to be exposed to it all day at work. It means I don't have to hear the god awful Christmas songs all day. Don't have to deal with every customer saying Merry Christmas when I just want to say bar humbug and hide up here. Sick of Christmas music already. Yeah, I heard one. That was enough for me. Winter's Tale by David Essex. That was the one I heard. I was like, ugh. That's it. You can't listen to the radio anymore. I do have one colleague that is very sad and will put the Christmas tunes station on the radio if they're in first in the morning, which basically means if I get in later that day, it gets changed. But no, we're not listening to that cack all day long. I don't do Christmas music. 99% of it is utterly god awful. And if it's not god awful cheese, then it's something that you've heard every year for all of your life, like Slade or Wizard or Shakin' Stevens. No, thank you. I'm quite happy to listen to Christmas Truce by Sabaton. You know, that's well, and there are some other Christmas songs that are quite good. You know, Mad World by Gary Jules, Stand by Eminem, Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. You know, all those songs have got in common. They were all Christmas #1 in the UK. Usually is how can we put it, a pretty much a complaint. Basically, enough people band it together and going, no, we don't want that to be Christmas #1. We're going to have something we actually want to listen to that's going to be on the radio 300 times a day. Bohemian Rhapsody was a Christmas #1 as well. So yeah, work is going to die a death in the next few weeks. The week between Christmas and New Year is always a nightmare. Not because we're rushed off our feet, but because, well, it's short days. Then you've got the bank holidays where we're closed. And you've still got to get everyone's hours in. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, what that means is usually about 3 times as many people as needed to actually do the job. So you basically just spend your shift bored senseless. So I generally, when by the time I get in, all the actual things that need to be done have been done. Other than serving customers and doing the closing stuffs, which literally takes me about 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm basically just researching things on the internet. Hey ho. I'd rather that way than other retail stores this time of year, though. Anywhere that sells Christmas tat, specifically, or food shops. Food shops do take a little bit longer to start getting mental, but people with like 2 trolleys worth of food and drink. Oh, excuse me. Get ready to work and have a good one. Don't work too hard. They ain't going to pay you no more if you do, and they'll start expecting it. Have a wonderful day, Deli. Yeah. Oh no, we need to get this. We need to get this. We've got to have this, and we've got to have this. Oh, we need this in case such and such comes around to visit. Or no, you don't. Just because Auntie Mabel likes Tia Maria, it doesn't mean you have to have a bottle of Tia Maria ready. Because if Auntie Mabel drove, then she ain't going to be drinking. Or at most, she might have one. And this is just a random choice of drink and name. Insert any other as you see fit. I don't expect anyone to buy anything especially for me when I visit them. Not that I do visit people anymore, but you know, if it's something, because as we know, Sharpe generally only drinks Coke and energy drinks. If it's someone who's not likely to have those in, then yeah, I'll bring a bottle, as it were. Bring my own Coke or energy drink. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to drink it anyway. But hey ho. We've got a whole 25 days before. Yeah, I know, it's scary. 3 weeks. Well, 3 and a bit, but yeah. 3 more weeks till I've got my next week off. And then I think it's 8 or 9 weeks till I'm off again. As I said, it'll be mostly dead at work, so it's not like I'm going to need the break because I'm worn out. What else has been going on this week? Not a lot, to be honest. So I've got water changes done, work done, chores done. Didn't upload a video this week because didn't really have anything pre-filmed, and nothing sprang to mind as a good idea to do. I didn't want to just randomly do a video for doing a video's sake. So yeah, TV license people are coming after me again, sending threatening letters, telling me I'm going to get a visit from an enforcement officer. This is despite me having told them several times on the phone I don't need one, having filled in the thing online that says I don't need one. It's like they just can't comprehend that some people don't need a TV license. Yeah, I don't watch live TV. I don't watch BBC iPlayer. Therefore, I don't need a TV license. But you need a TV license. No, I don't. We're going to keep sending you threatening letters until you cave in and buy one. Well, I'm not going to. They're just going to keep going in the bin. And every single one you send makes it less and less likely that I'll buy one in future. I mean, it might be different if there was something actually that I wanted to watch. But let's be honest. Is there £15 a month's worth of stuff on live TV or iPlayer that I don't ever watch that is, worth the fee, as it were? Especially if it's something that's like a series, it's just going to come out on DVD later. Or Blu-ray, I suppose, these days. But no. I mean, the amount of money they must have spent on sending me letters, and if they're going to be sending out an enforcement person again, who doesn't make an appointment at all, they just randomly turn up so they can catch you watching TV. Good luck with that, because I don't. And secondly, you got no rights to actually come into my property without my permission. You can come up to my door, but any more than that is actually trespass. So any evidence gained, which there isn't any evidence to gain, would be obtained illegally. Yeah, I'm not normally one to carry on things, but this is a hill I'm willing to die on. I mean, the Environment Agency don't keep sending me snotty letters telling me my fishing license needs to be renewed because I don't go fishing anymore. They seem to understand that, this person doesn't fish anymore, they don't need a license for it. Whereas the TV license people seem to think that, well, they said they don't do it, but we're going to still bug them anyway because we're losing income, because more and more people are not paying for a TV license. Not because they're breaking the law or doing anything illegal, because they're not watching TV anymore. But it's a vicious circle, because you can guarantee the higher ups at the BBC won't be taking a pay cut to allow there to be more money for better quality programming to be made, or more interesting programming to be made. So there's a smaller pot of money available because less people are buying the license. so they can't afford to make decent quality programming. Just give up BBC and have adverts. Then the whole TV licensing people can just go find a more fulfilling job, like cleaning toilets. Or stop paying the higher ups so much money when they really don't do anything. I've got no interest in reality TV, no interest in soap operas. No real interest in football anymore. Most of the other stuff is just meh at best. There's not really any. There just aren't the shows there that appeal to me. So why would I pay to watch something I don't want to watch? That's just me ranting and raving. Anything else? What else have I got to rant and rave or waffle on about? Not a huge amount. Not much else has got under my skin or wound me up this week. It's kind of a rarity. Yeah, it's at this point nothing Donald does is really a surprise or a shock anymore, is it? It's just like, oh, we've done that now. Righto. At some point, someone will realise he's not mentally competent to do the job. Probably be shortly after he declares war on someone for no good reason. Or at least if he does actually declare war, then they could do the war, do the blowing ships out of the water and gunning down the rest of the people that survived it legally. As long as they can prove that the people in said boat were foreign insurgents or whatever, not just fishermen, or people on a day trip, or yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably enough politics. Were K's, weren't they? Yeah. What else have been getting my goat lately? Another thing the British government's doing. The whole 18 plus thing, you have to prove that you're 18 now. even Microsoft want it for the Xbox account. It's like, I don't actually play any games on there or do anything that's 18 rated. So why would I need to prove I'm 18? And the fact that I've had an account since Xbox Live started, pretty much, back on the original Xbox, that should be enough proof that I'm probably old enough. Hell, when did the Xbox 360 come out? It's probably not far off. Probably not far off 18 years ago. Thinking about it. Which is quite scary to think of. 2013 for the original, or for the Xbox One. So that's 12 years ago. So, to have a card to be able to pay for doing things under my own name, you're not going to have that when you're like 6, are you? I don't think anyone in their right mind would give a 6-year-old a credit card, or whatever you want to call it, debit card. Yeah, so if the 360 was 2013, which does sound about right, the Xbox One was around, or the original Xbox, that was around several years. So, yeah. There's your proof I'm 18 right there, Microsoft. I've had an account for longer than 18 years. Yeah, 2005, so 20 years. Yeah, so I've had an Xbox Live account for 20 years. I think that should be enough proof that I'm over 18. It just goes to show how, and this isn't a Microsoft thing, this is a UK government thing. Because they've decided that there are dangerous things on the internet. And we need to protect people and protect children. Dude, children will find a way around it. Either just by giving their parents details, or uploading a picture of their parents' passport. And if in doubt, they just download a VPN and then set it to say that they're in a different country, which doesn't have that stupid law now. I mean, just turn on Safe Search if you're that worried about seeing something that you might not like. Well, let's be honest. Oh, geez, so 360 was 2005. So the original Xbox then would have been late 90s. Yeah, probably would have been late 90s. Yeah, And we'll know exactly what's happened with this government ruling thing. Oh, we need to protect people. What happened is some high up minister, with absolutely no idea about how the real world works and what teenage boys are like. So it'd probably be a female minister, not being sexist, just saying. Because any male member of parliament is going to know what teenage boys are like. Would probably be more disappointed than anything if they walked in and the boy wasn't doing it. Yeah, basically they've walked into their teenage boy's bedroom and found them watching adult content, shall we say, and having a quick tug. And gone, oh no, how is this possible? How did my son find this? We must do something about it. It's horrific. So please, at least he's not like we were back in the day, going around the bushes at the back of the park finding all the discarded magazines from probably people like her husband. Well, it's weird because you, you never actually caught anyone or spotted anyone coming out of those bushes, but there was always a pile of magazines down there, unless it was just the porn fairy left them. Oh, jeez, imagine that. Guys, stay calm, but the porn fairy's real. Um, Now my brain is just going to like a slutty Tinkerbell, just going around depositing magazines everywhere. Yeah, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So the law thing came in, so literally like the next day, it was any time you went on a website that might contain adult material, you had to prove your age. Not just by a tick the box that says yes, I am 18. You actually had to like do a face scan or upload a picture of your driver's license or passport. Neither of which I have because I don't drive and I don't travel. Um, it's mostly just because the sites don't want to get sued. um, yeah, it's just ridiculous. There's far more harmful things than finding naked people on the internet. But there we go. Perhaps if people actually took the time to do some actual parenting and teach their children things. Well, if parents aren't going to do it, then the schools are going to have to. So that'll be fun. Although a basic life skills course would be a good thing in high school, I think, or just throughout school. Yeah. Teach them how the world really works and not how they might want it to work. Teach them that if they want it to change, well, then they've got to be the ones in charge. And the problem there is they ain't going to be old enough to be in charge for at least another 20 years. So, yeah, suck it up, buttercup. Deal with it. As a certain former colleague is finding out. This being the same former colleague that caused all the squit and strife at work to start with. I'm being singled out and treated differently. Oh, yes, you are, but that's because if we treat you the same as everyone else, you're just going to run off in tears and complain about that as well. So, do your job, accept it. Yeah. Although the other lesson learned is that the grass is not always greener. As the branch they've moved to is a lot busier with a lot stricter manager. Who won't just take their rubbish. So yeah, they effed about and found out the hard way. Don't have the wherewithal to think to themselves, maybe if I keep having problems with all these people, but no one else is having problems with them, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's me. No, you can't be having that. Everyone else must change to suit me, but they can't be seen to be doing anything different because I'll complain about that as well. Uh, I know national service is something that you don't want to see come back, but some people really could do with it. Just to give them that dose of reality. Let them know that the world doesn't revolve around them. But hey ho, grumpy old man. The joys of being a Gen Xer, I guess. Oh, pardon me. What else have we got we can waffle on about? As there doesn't seem to be much happening in the chat at all. But so there's not been anything sort of new happening to me otherwise this week. Oh, come on, out you get. Yeah, just a general week. Obviously, I finished the diamond painting of the AI Nurse Christina that I was doing last week. That's up on the wall. 2007 steps left. Till when? What? I've never got this measure counting steps thing. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to do. Other than tell you you've been a lazy bugger or not been a lazy bugger. But, you know, you kind of know that yourself. I've maybe done a couple of 100 steps today in total. But that's fine. Most of them been to and from either the cave or the toilet. So most of them have probably been on stairs. I mean, how many steps is it they say you're supposed to do every day? And how did they come to this number? Was there science involved, or just someone thought, that sounds about right. Let's make it a nice round number. Like when the dude originally measured the height of Mount Everest. Yes, that is a correct pronunciation. He got his theodolite out and did all the maths and worked it all out and came up to like 29,000 feet or something. Whatever it was. It was an exact number. And obviously this upset him somewhat. Because, if you come up with an exact whole number, people are just going to think, oh, yeah, that's close enough. You rounded it up, you rounded it down. So he actually added a foot to the total. That one then? Yeah. He actually added a foot to what he measured, just so people wouldn't think he'd guesstimated or rounded it up. So I think it's pretty cool. What else we got? And yes, I know I'm unfit, but I don't care. I'm fit enough to do what I do. I know I can walk for hours. That's not a problem because, well, I'm on my feet all shift at work, walking around. So, plus, plus I'm getting on now. I'm not a spring chicken no more. This is just a solid patch, isn't it? Move things about a bit so I don't tweak my back. Oh, pardon me again. That was brave. Yeah, it's not my kind of thing. Well, I was saying one of my young colleagues this week, they were going about gym and what they can lift or whatever. I'm like, is that it? Yeah, but it's this, and it's perfectly balanced, right? It's all exact same weight on either end of the bar and or whatever. Yeah. That's what you need to have for it to be right. So try making the weight different either end of the bar, or further out in front of you. Don't optimize it, because by optimizing it, all you're doing is making it easier to get higher numbers, which actually mean nothing in reality. Yeah. Mr. I go to the gym, I can lift this, I can do that. I can't lift it up. Can you give us a hand to move this? And I just pick it up. Where you want it? Huh? And this wax is definitely losing its stickability now. Mind you, it's the same chunk of wax I've been using since I started diamond painting, so there is that. Maybe it's time I just started a new piece. But I do like the idea of completely finishing the old piece first. Yeah, in future I'm definitely going to use the smaller pieces of wax rather than the bigger ones. Quite why people feel the need to buy massive tubs of it or packs of 100 pieces of wax, I have no idea. Because, well, every diamond painting you buy will come with a pen and a piece of wax and a tray. Pen I get because apparently a lot of people do like a chunkier, heavier pen, but yeah, not me. And I find the bigger trays with the higher sides, 'cause I've got a couple. I just find what happens is when I go to pick up the drill, I then keep hitting on the side of the tray and knocking the drill off the end of the pen. So it's just annoying. So if I was going to use a larger tray, which I don't know why you would need, so many hundreds of drills in a tray at the same time. This little one will quite happily hold 300. And if you're like, oh, but that means if you've got to refill the tray regularly, yeah, which takes like 10 seconds. Oh, I like this wax because it lasts longer and then you don't have to re-wax, which takes 10 seconds. Yeah, that's probably just me being a grumpy old man, to be honest. I'm not here to maximise my efficiency when I'm doing a hobby. Or pastime to chill and relax. I'm not going to stress over it. If it takes me a little longer, well, then I get to do more hobbying. Do more hobbying for the same price. Which, let's be honest, is one of the reasons I started doing the diamond paintings, is because they're dirt cheap compared to model kits. Even if you buy the posh ones that are anywhere up to 10 times the price for the same thing, basically. Yeah. I think I'll stick with keeping it cheap. So the videos I've seen where someone's comparing like a Temu, Shein, AliExpress, like these, with one of the name branded ones, because they're like determined to prove that the name brand one is better. They are really reaching at straws, because the things that they find that are better about the name brand one are things that really don't matter. It will be things like it comes with a more expensive pen or a more expensive tray, or it's got prettier packaging, or oh, the tools come in a little drawstring bag. Right? Are you ever going to put them back in the drawstring bag? No. It's a better quality pen. Yeah, but again, that's subjective. If you don't like a big, fat, heavy one, then woof, that's a downgrade. And if you've already done a good few diamond paintings, then you figured out what tools work best for you. So there's that. I'm just going to finish this row and roll a ciggy, I think, because, well, this is row 4, and depending on how I feel, I will either do 5 rows and flip Zacky Boy on his side, which, let's be honest, in real life would have led to me being savaged, or I'm going to do 6 rows. We'll see how we go. There's 5 rows will take me to like there, 6 will take me to like there, maybe a little bit shorter. Which then means when I flip it over, it's shorter. I know it's weird, but it just means it takes less time to do a row, so you do it faster. If you, yeah, just me being weird. And also by doing the flip, you're then working on a different thing rather than the same part. That side is going to be very dark. That is something I've noticed about these. Sometimes the colour choices are a bit weird, because as far as I'm aware, Zach never had purple or red or brown on him. Black and white putty cat, or white and black. And the picture ain't as dark as they're making out, but then that seems to be a general theme. The pictures tend to come out darker than you think they're going to. But then you stand back and it makes sense. It's weird. Because if you look at a diamond painting close up, they look hot garbage. You can't even tell what they are. Oh, fire in the hole. And yes, that's what they sound like on this chair. Yeah, so I've done like 30 odd of them now, I think. And it still hasn't sunk into my head that they look better from further away. Because I spent so many years building things that are smaller and focusing real close in on the tiny details that when you get further away, they just, it just looks like a green tank. You got to get really close to notice that, like, every rivet has been shaded and highlighted, and every little chip has been done on the paint, or every button on the figure's shirt has been painted separately. And diamond paintings are basically impressionist pixel art. Yeah. I also wanted to get Zaki done, as I say, he's the last of the Christmas Prezi ones, and then I can get on with some more naughty ones, hopefully. So if I get him done early enough in the week, then I can get on with a naughty one with bare flesh and all, and hopefully get that done before next Sunday, so I can not have to censor it. What else we got? Oh yeah, and I have ordered a bunch more diamond paintings, along with a second portfolio to put them in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one with the safe for work ones in, and one with the naughty ones in. Yeah. What else can we do? And at some point, I will get around to finishing painting Athena over there. I've got 2 more tubs full of figures down there that I bought that need to be painted. I've got a big box full of paper models to do. I keep buying more stuff, and I still haven't done the old stuff. At this point, I've got a bigger stash than I ever did have of model kits, and I've still got a stash of those as well. And some of those are probably worth a few quid as well. Well, I know they are because they're out of production. I think everything I've got now is out of production. Yeah, except for the mini art kits, they might still be. Maybe the Trumpet T90s. Yeah, there's quite a few up there that were out of production when I bought them. 135 steps left, and then what? You can just sit down and not move for the rest of the day. I wouldn't worry about it anyway. What is it they say, like 5,000, 10,000, something like that? Which is probably literally just a general day if you're not sitting at the computer at work. Hate to say it, if you actually work for a living. Everyone seems to want the sit-down office job, and then they have to finish work and then do their exercise. And I'm like, well, if you just did a job where you got your exercise in anyway, you'd have more free time afterwards. That's the curtains. Yeah, right. I was just trying to figure out from which direction and where I took this photo. Very little visceral fat. Well, I hate to break it to you. Oh, and I've got plenty. But if you've got people with zero body fat or whatever, or very low percentages of fat, when they get ill, they've got no reserves to fight things with. Another one of my colleagues, little girl, has been ill lately. And it's like she gets better and then she goes back downhill again, gets better and goes back downhill. And they couldn't work it out. And I'm like, well, there's nothing to her. Yeah. Yes. The body is literally running out of things to fight with. But yeah, she needs to eat and drink more. Yeah, it's like when the apocalypse happens. I'm not saying it will, but and there's the big food shortages and the famines. The fat people are going to survive longer. It's just a fact of life. Back on the same colour. An awful lot more of them on this row as well. Or should I start doing some painting? Oh, pardon me. There's 4 rows. Yeah, screw it. Let's do some painting. I haven't done it for a while, so it could be a laugh. While we're at it, no, put it out of shot. All right, I'll show you the things I have finished this week. Obviously, Nurse Christina is up on the wall, so I can't show you her, but then there's pretty cleavagey girly sitting on a desk. Oh, I want to grab that because I'm going to need that in a moment. Stand that up there. Go layer on top of that. And then the paint by numbers of the succubus. I finished that this week as well. So they're done, dusted. Just need to frame the diamond painting and then pop the other one up on the wall somewhere. I'm not going to worry about framing her, or framing the succubus, I should say. Right. So what are we going to do next on Athena? Been a long while since I did any painting on her, so I've forgotten what I was up to. Base is pretty much done. I think I might be at the point where we're doing some light dry brushing on the dress. So this will be fun. And I'm going to need, or not need, but want my wrist support, which probably is 18 rated, but let's be honest, who cares? It'll stop sticking over there somewhere. Yep, that's about right. Pot of water. Is there any water in that? Judging by the weight of it, there is. And judging by the fact it's got condensation on it. Oh. And mould. Joy. Yay, black mould. Right, so we're going to shake up the turquoise. And a drop of that. And a drop of cold white. Give it a shake. Yeah, I'll just become extremely aware of what the wrist rest looks like. And yes, I'm a dirty old man. And let's find make sure there should be a suitable set of brushes tucked away in here. That's my dial. That one. That one. Oh, come here. No, we'll want that one anyway for detail painting, and that one. There we go. Maybe the army paint one as well. Oh, yeah, we do have soft bristles. So we're just going to mix up a lighter shade of the turquoise. Grab some kitchen roll. Fold it up. Stick that down there. That's just going to white out everything I'm doing, but hey ho. And let's start with some fairly heavy dry brushing at first, and we'll gradually get lighter and lighter. This is pick out the raised detail in the dress, all the high parts of the folds. And the real trick here is to make sure you just get it on the dress and not on anything else. Because at this point, having to go back and paint over the flesh would be a nightmare. Nightmare made flesh. Yes. This is what I like. This is what I like. Hobbies I can just come back to without having to stop and think for ages about where I was and what I was going to do next. And it's also why I leave the paints out. I didn't have to remember then which colour turquoise or which colour flesh or whatever I used to paint her, because it's still just there on the bench. And because of the wet palette, it means the paint is easily mixable. So if I want to lighten it a little more, I just drag more of the white onto it. That's it, a bit further across. So this is going to be a fairly heavy dry brush. And I'll gradually just build it up and go lighter and lighter as I go. Problem is now I've started it, I really do have to finish it. Because anyone who's tried mixing paint before will tell you trying to get the same shade twice in a row is almost impossible without a machine. Let's be honest, nobody at home is going to have a machine to colour match paint. And there we go, we've got blue paint on the flesh. Yay! Now we're away from the skinny bits, we can go a bit more aggressive. The fact that I'm shade blind doesn't help this step either, but you know. Worse things happen at sea. I know some people might watch and go, but if you're shade blind, how can you do shading? Well, because I know that by adding more white to the colour, it's going to be lighter. It's really that simple. So I can see the difference once I've done it, but until I've done it, it all just looks the same. Yeah. I know the new school methods of layering and blending, and yeah, I just don't get on with them that well. Keep it. I'm a big proponent of keep it simple, stupid, and it's what I know. It's what I've been doing for decades. So I'm just going to continue doing it because I'm not looking to win awards or gain notoriety or fame or anything, or even make money from it. Really, I'm looking to enjoy it. I'm not in a competition with anyone. And if I was, I would just do it completely differently just to screw with the competition judges. Um, one of my old favourites was if you get something that people are a bit precious about. So let's say a World War II era German tank. People do get very precious about those, and yeah, my approach was generally just go right. That's what you think it should be. Okay, let's do something completely different. Rather than doing my tiger tanking baby poop yellow, I'm going to do it in Russian green and put Soviet markings on it, just to upset people, or or as I did with the Panther, or painted it pink and put completely the wrong gun in it. That upset quite a few people. Lots of that's the wrong colour. Those are you've wasted that model kit. No, don't. I've enjoyed building it. I've done a paint job that I like. Just because it doesn't fit in with what you like doesn't mean I've wasted it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm fully with the model kits models as a historical representation. I've done more than my share of historically accurate models. Sometimes you just want a bit of fun. You just want to do you and get a bit creative with things, and that's where the fun comes. That's also where you start upsetting people. Usually quite badly. Because let's be honest, a lot of model makers don't really have a sense of humour. So there's plenty who would call me a pervert just for painting a female figure. I was like, well, sorry, I don't like looking at burly, muscular men. I don't get a kick out of that. I don't enjoy it. I'm going to look at something for hours. I'd rather look at an attractive female figure. Shape, you know. Like if you're playing a third-person computer game, say something like Mass Effect, you're going to be, or Skyrim, Oblivion, those kind of things. You're going to be spending hours and hours playing that game, staring at someone's butt, basically. So, might as well make it a butt you're going to enjoy looking at. Or is that just me? I know you're there, peeps. Feel free to speak up. Speaking of which, live streams and stuff. So to see Andrew Donald decided to call it a day on their live streams. Not sure why. I didn't watch the live stream. I was actually otherwise occupied at the time. It was always a good little stream to join in, have a chat, a bit of fun. Got to admit, it's something I've considered as well, but at this point I've been doing it so long that it's just sort of like this is what I do on a Sunday evening. And by shifting back up to the cave and me actually doing something, like painting, diamond painting, whatever, especially when it's quiet in the chat, it does give me something to do rather than just sit there chain smoking, trying to drive a conversation forward. Let's do a real light one. It's going to be absolutely super dry. Yeah, still too much paint in the brush. Yeah, so this is it. Life moves forward. Priorities change. It's. I don't want to make it sound like it's hard work because, let's be honest, it's not. I'm just sitting here talking and doing something I enjoy. But there's a time commitment. It can be hard work on the brain trying to think of things to talk about if people in chat aren't being very chatty or there aren't many people there. Um, not everyone can keep making that commitment, I suppose, especially if you're not getting the viewership or. And I hate to make it all about money because I'm pretty sure that's not what Andrew and Donna have done. If you're not making the money from it, then do you really want to carry on doing it? Kind of like going to work if you're not getting paid. It would suck big time. Right, that will do for that. You. So now we want superfine detail brush. Give it a lick because I'm a brush licker. Pick up a tiny little bit of paint. And we're going to paint in the eyeballs. Just literally just to get the white in there. Before I go start covering it or start doing the other shading and stuff. So I managed to get some blue in there, so we'll go back over it again. And that's when you screw it up sharp. Sorry, concentrating. And actually making the problem worse. Oh well. That's an easy enough fix. Especially as we've now got a cover over the blue where I've overshot on the legs. This paint doesn't need to be extra thin, so we'll just it is extra thin, needs a real good shake up. It's fairly close to the flat flesh. I think it is the same colour, so we're going to use the actual brush version rather than the airbrush version. Right. What's the difference, Sharpe? Well, the brush version is a lot thicker paint. And when you want to cover things, a thicker paint is a good thing. Which is why the paint by numbers paint is so bloody thick. Well, yeah, that's still rather runny. That brush is too small. Let's use that one. Mind you, compared to the paint by numbers paint, I think any paint is going to be thin. Because let's be honest, paint by numbers paint is basically paste. I know they call it a water-based oil, but no, it's just thick. I find it a bit weird that for such a thick paint, it really doesn't cover very well. It's kind of the opposite of what you might expect. I expect that a thick paint would cover really well, but it doesn't. Well, in that case, anyway. So we've got the dry brush done, got the paint, got the flesh touched up. A little bit more there. So we have to re-wash that, as it were. And touch up around the eye where I messed up. Yep, that's that fixed. Then what colour are we going to do her necklace? Gold, obviously. What colours have we got? Auric Armour Gold. It's very separated. Or is it just empty? No, it's done what Citadel paints do, and it's separated real badly. I'll grab a mixing stick. And give it a good mix. And hopefully we can bring it back to life. I don't know what they've changed in the formula with the newer Citadel paints, but they're nowhere near as good as the old ones were. And I've got paints there from the 90s that just need a bit of a shake and they're ready to go. And these are from the 2010s, late 2010s, maybe even 2020s. And they separate in a matter of days, if not weeks. And they're also real thick as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that out of the way. I'm going to wipe that off of the cocktail stick so it's not dripping resin binders everywhere. Get some paint on the brush. And then painting her a necklace. I think, yeah, it's a choker band. I'll give her a gold choker. Well, it is Athena, Queen of the Gods, so the golden choker seems a good idea. While we're at it, we can do the armor plates as well. Gold, she's still there. Going too quick, and some of the paint's not actually quite dry yet, but that's another reason I like diamond painting. You don't need to wait for anything to dry. It's just as soon as you stuck it down, it's ready to go. Yeah. Come about there to call it a day. We'll just do that gold and then give it a wash of another colour afterwards. There we go. Yeah. I'm going to call it there for today because, well, because I want to go get something to eat. And it's basically dead in the chat. So same time next week, we'll see what occurs. Yes, I am tidying up as I go. I know, weird as it sounds. Just means that tomorrow morning when I come up here, I haven't got to start out by tidying things up first. I can just get on with it. Not that that probably look any different at all on that kind of camera. Hopefully you can see where the dry brushing has taken effect in the shading. There we go. So the usual guff at the end of the stream. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a good week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Ooh.